Hey Capricorn, welcome to your fortnightly check-in with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're sun, moon or rising sign Cappy, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, there is no astrology in these, so this is just tarot. So watch it for whichever sign resonates with you most. Check in after the fact, check in before, like see, you have to sometimes, I think it's wise with this kind of stuff to play around with it in terms of when you watch it, how much you watch it, to go away from it and to come back from it time to time so you can see which one actually is speaking most to you. All right, so let's get into your different sectors for the next 2 weeks ahead. All right, so for your actions and results, you have pop these here. All right, so you've got the Seven of Swords, so you need to be mindful with the Ten of Pentacles, okay, and the Page of Cups, right? Be very mindful of the lies that you tell yourself this week. Now, the reason I say this is because your actions and results, this is all about you. It's about what you put out into the world, what you're planning to do or not, as the case may be. Now, because you've got the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Cups is more a self-illusory tendency, but because of where this falls, right, the Seven of Swords can speak to where you are going to, this week, you're going to kid yourself. You're going to lie to yourself. Your intuition, your gut, your heart of hearts knows better, right? But because of the sake of what your heart wants and what it is working towards or trying to build or maybe didn't have when they were growing up or whatever the case may be, this week you're going to try to fool yourself. You're going to try to kid yourself into, no, it's not that bad. Or I can do this. I can put up with this. I can handle this. I can go back to this relationship. I can, suck it up for another 5 years in this same job. Although actually that last one, if you're a Capricorn, you probably can. When it comes to Capricorns and work, I mean, there's nothing that you guys can't handle, aside from bodily waste. I think everything else, Capricorns are like, whatever, just throw it at me. I'm fine. I'll just deal with it somehow. But there is an element that suggests that this week this fortnight, you're going to try to tell yourself that you can handle something or you can let it slide or, well, it's not always going to be like this. And in your heart of hearts that actually that's not true. So this week, I think you're going to be very well aware of where you're telling yourself some kind of porky pie. And, the results of this, I mean, the Ten of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, this could literally be, well, I'm doing it for the kids. Right? We've seen how that kind of stuff can go. So just be mindful this week. Like if you're gonna see something through for somebody else, don't tell yourself that it's for them, all right? Take accountability this fortnight as well, I guess I'm trying to say. All right, for your career and your communications, you've got the Empress. Now, the Empress falls on top of the Seven of Swords, which tells me that whatever this thing is that you're trying to fool yourself with, it may be coming from a space of vanity where it's like, well, I know I can deal with this, or I know I'm going to be the person that can make the difference here. And it's like, okay, maybe you can, but what's it going to cost? And is that price, is it a price you are happy to pay? All right, now, in terms of the career, the Empress is very nice. This does suggest that new doors are opening, fruitful endeavors or seeds are being planted at this moment in time in the career sector. with the Knight of Pentacles. I love this, right? Especially for longer term goals. So the things that you're setting into motion when it comes to the career, the profession, the studies, this is great because it's like you know you're doing the Capricornian thing. You know that this is going to unfold over time. There's no quick fix here, and you're not looking for one. What you do appear to be looking for, though, is maybe more stability than is actually on offer. And that is something that I think you want to be really honest with yourself about. The other thing as well, when it comes to work and or the profession, it looks like there's some kind of travel and or commute that's being discussed at the moment. So for some of you, this might shape up literally, maybe you're wanting to change your hours. You've got this with the Two of Swords. So I think you will get what you want, right? So for those of you that are looking to change hours or the structure of the way that you work, it will probably go ahead. The challenge that you're going to have is maybe someone pulls it up, especially for those of you that are employed by someone else. Maybe someone says, well, why do they get to do this then? What makes them so special? And then it kind of opens up that sort of debate, right? But all in all, I actually really like this for you. So if you're studying or in some form of academia, this is the structure of your studies and also the ideas that you set forward may come up against a little bit of opposition, but they're absolutely, I think the right thing will be done by you for whatever request you make. It's the same for those of you that are employed by somebody else. Like this is new seeds. It's, you know, really you focused on what is the next step for my future when it comes to the career. How far and wide can I take this? Maybe you're on a training course of some sort that requires a commute, right? That requires you to go out to new places, to do different kinds of training in, you know, different departments in the company that you work. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, similar kind of energy, right? But you're bringing in a lot more connections probably from or with women, and it may be for some of you that you're clashing with women you know, in the workspace. Now if this is the case, it's likely to be a younger earth sign woman who probably presents a little bit more masculine than not. Okay, so just something to think about. I will also say as well, this is not a week to get, this is not a fortnight or a period to get into disputes with people, because the chances are they'll run on for longer than you would like. Then next, for those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this could actually be you expanding your business, maybe to different markets or on an international scale. But it looks like some of you as well may be considering hiring your first employee, right? So I'm really excited about that. And then finally, for those of you that are retired and no longer working, this is you putting time, effort, and energy into probably into like the next phase of your life. And I gotta be honest with you, that Two of Swords does suggest that maybe you're getting some, not kickback as to what that looks like, but maybe somebody isn't necessarily on the next page, you know, or on the same page as you are. So you might be saying, yeah, you know, I'm going to study this, or I'm going to incorporate more of this into my life. And someone's like, oh, well, you know, aren't you too old for doing that? Or, oh, you know, that's a this thing. You know, like when someone says to you, like, I remember, you know, and I've been guilty of this as well in my younger years. Like when people used to listen to the music that their parents listened to, I'd be like, oh man, this music's so old. Like, why are you listening to this? And now I can really appreciate it, right? So it may very well be something along those lines, like whatever you're trying to do for yourself in terms of what you do with your time or your resources, or maybe even a hobby that you want to take up. Someone says to you, oh, you know, you're too old for that, or, you know, that's not for you. Well, who gets to decide that? You do, all right? For your love and relations, you got the Four of Swords. So cooling it down, right, with the Seven of Wands and the King of Swords, right? So the King of Swords is usually an air sign male, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. This could be another way that this could show up as well. This could be, so for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, or in any kind of situationship, this could be where you both kind of put your arms down and maybe you say, okay, you know what, we've had enough kerfuffle and brouhaha. So you know what, let's simmer it down for a minute and get out of our emotions and into our heads. It's very rare that I have to say that to Capricorns, and what's really interesting is that specific message, that it's rare that I have to say to a certain sign, and I attribute this actually to the energy of the month, possibly to the fact that Saturn's just moved signs, right? So you are now at this point scrabbling to get hold of your emotions right now, because you're in a completely different energy to what you're used to, right? You've had 5 years of your ruling planet in a sign that it rules. You're suddenly completely out of your territory here and out of your depth. So your emotions might be like zzz, and so it's kind of like, you're feeling a bit of an emotional loop right now. So don't fret if that is the case. I like this though for getting, like I said, getting out of the feels and into the logic, right? Coming back, maybe you have a moment where you're like, okay, I remember how to do this life thing and I'm actually pretty good at it, so I'm going to relax now. For those of you that are single and looking, if you are connecting to an air sign person, one thing that I would like you to be probably quite mindful of is if you're arguing and already having, like, don't get me wrong, it's good to have a spark. I could never be with somebody that completely acquiesced to everything that I asked for, that didn't give me the challenge, that didn't, from time to time say, hey, listen, you better back up. Like, not like in a physical sense, oh God, no. But if there's no fight, there's no passion. All right, and when I say like it's good to have a bit of a banter and somebody that is strong enough in their character to say, actually no, I don't believe that, and it doesn't work like that for me. That's important. But to have so much argumentative energy, or so much kind of like there's something here that you and somebody else just seem incapable of agreeing on. And it's like, if it keeps coming up, especially in the early days of something being formed, it's not so much that it's a red flag about that person, it's a red flag about the relationship or the connection. If you're having this many problems or arguments about one specific thing so early in a relationship, fuck it off, right? It's as harsh as that sounds. At that point, you have to kind of say, okay, do I want to be having this same argument 5 to 10 years down the line? What's the point in that? Who gets anything out of that? Eventually it just festers and then everybody's unhappy. Sometimes we just got to use a bit of common sense. Anyway, for your money and materials, you have the Fool card, new things, places, people, energies. With the 3 of Cups, lucrative connections and possibilities open up through friendships over this next fortnight. Potentially as well, some of you are making money from something that you really enjoy, which is quite exciting. So it could be a friend says to you, hey, listen, there's this event coming up. We need people to work on the stall or work on the door or whatever it might be. It looks like it's only something short, something really temporary, probably not anything from like a weekend to 3 weeks. Not much more than that, but it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of laughter, and it's like whatever you're doing, you're able to make a little bit of money or change from it at the same time. So hey, listen, don't knock it, right? When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this could be a time where you start to feel a lot better, a lot stronger, maybe than you have in a while. Now, the fact that Saturn's moved into Pisces, especially for those of you that are ascendant, I said I wouldn't do any astrology, but just to give you an example, especially for those of you that are ascendant Capricorns, to a lesser degree the sun and the moon, but still relevant, Saturn moving out of Aquarius means it's out of your second house of money, finances and resources, and now moved into your third house, which means, all of that hard work energy that you've had in your money sector is going away. So now it's like, oh, okay, the money starts to really improve from here. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I also feel that this is the same. You're getting your mojo back. You've got your energy back, which I love, right? There's a lot of laughter here and a lot of banter. When it comes to your home and environment, this is get-togethers. There's no two ways about it. This is, Mom, can my friends come over for a party? Or maybe you're away and the kids are throwing a party, so just keep that in mind. Or maybe you are, having a get together and you're sending out invites and invitations and it's gonna be lit, y'all. It looks like you're gonna be having a lot of fun. Where's my invite? Where's Rafi's invite? Well, listen, you don't need me at your party, bro. You're gonna be like, he's wild. He says, I'll be sleeping at 9:30 in the corner somewhere like that. Alright, all jokes aside, let's have a look at your cross purposes. So what we're looking at here is you got all these wonderful things coming in, and where are the challenges coming from? Alright, some of the challenges or the issues that we've seen, where might they be coming from or showing up? Sometimes it's an inside job, right? So you got the Chariot card. Okay, so the Chariot represents Cancer. Cancer is the 7th sign from Capricorn. So there's two ways we could see this. Maybe the challenges are coming from the very fast pace of change that is happening for you at this moment in time. That's an external thing that you're not really in control of, because this represents Cancerian energy, which is the 7th sign from Capricorn. So therefore, partners, one-on-one contracts, etc. The message that kind of comes in from the Chariot card is maybe don't sort of sign off on any connections, commitments or contracts just yet. See the lay of the land first, all right? That's something that you can be in control of. And then you've got the 5 of Cups. So if you're going to have any financial problems, challenges or issues this week, I'm really sorry to say, but it's going to be your car. That is the bad boy that looks like it is going to cost you, all right? There's something here that needs to be fixed and or repaired, and it's going to have something to do with the water, the oil, or potentially the brake fluid, all right? It's the waters of your car or your vehicle that are going to need to be looked at. So, maybe my friend had this not too long ago as well, where the coolant thing was leaking, right? So like driving the car and it's just completely overheating because there's no coolant getting into anything. So look into that over this next fortnight, because it could end up saving you a lot of money if you catch it quickly. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic fortnight. Let me know in the comments, do you love it? Do you loathe it? And take care, and I'll speak to you soon.